Check this out. 3 new Drake tracks. It's all happening.
Justin Hunte is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunte is here, it's all happening.
Let the internet tell it, and Drake might have actually found his first hit since Kendrick Lamar's Shakespearean Shakedown. Drake dropped another 3-pack, and No Face is the first track to directly address his beefs with K-Dot, Future, Metro Boomin, Rick Ross, The Weeknd, A$AP Rocky, and the rest of the rap Avengers. He doesn't mention any names, of course. He's not suicidal, but through blistering delivery and blustering bravado, he attempts to convince the world that though bloody, he remains unbowed. Check these lyrics. Numbers untouchable. They got the data wrong. This is the moment I know they've been praying on. What? What? Try knock the boy off, but fuck it, I'm staying on. He raps on the first verse as if he's giving himself a pep talk, as if he's persuading himself that the boy still got it. But in the process of pretending to be unbothered, he's stressed out his therapist to the point of quitting. I don't get sleepy off no melatonin. My therapist put in a 30-day notice because I keep talking about beefing and business and money and women. It's no diagnosis. That rhyme scheme is tough, but then he cloaks the end of the track in faux victimhood as if he was simply replying to the snipes by the rap Avengers and hadn't spent a decade trend hopping, track stealing, and bridge burning everyone he leaned into for cultural cachet. He says, they emptied the clip, swapped that shit out, and I came back reloaded. I'm just so happy that niggas who envied and held that shit in got to finally show it. I'm over the moon. Yeah, we'll see you boys soon.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
No Face also features a 2-word Playboy Cardi appearance that's most interesting since Cardi is signed to A$AP Rocky's AWGE imprint, and this week A$AP called Drake a pussy boy in his Billboard cover story. We'll see how this evolves going forward. Sonically, it's super strong, but feels like Drake is tapping into his inner Ja Rule, especially at the beginning of the first verse when he says, how you get lit off a nigga you hated on? The cognitive dissonance is glaring. It's another example of faux victimhood, considering Drake's been sneak sniping for years. I mean, think about this. How you get lit off a nigga you hated on? Maybe he should ask his advocate 50 Cent.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Wankster was 50's first #1 song. It peaked at number 13 in 2002 and dismantled Ja Rule's career in the process. Now, we can credit Dr. Dre or Eminem or 50 getting shot 9 times, but hating on Ja, regardless of the street drama at the foundation of that confrontation, is the first time most of the world heard of 50 Cent. Now, was that a forced analogy that's completely different than the context of Drake's reference simply and solely because I wanted to shoehorn a Ja Rule reference into this commentary?
Goddamn right.
Because that's exactly who Drake's looking like right now. And for that bar to be lost on Aubrey or whoever wrote it is supremely ironic, considering 50 was just showing the boy love in his recent Hollywood Reporter cover story. Sure, 50 had great raps and great mixtapes before Wankster dropped, but so did all these other guys that Aubrey is saying got lit off of him. That's the tragedy of Drizzy Drake post-Shakespearean Shakedown. He seems to be doing everything in his power to ensure that every shot Kendrick levied at him continues to come to fruition. Take Circadian Rhythm, the language part 2, for example. The term circadian rhythm refers to the 24-hour cycles that are part of the body's internal clock, running in the background to carry out essential functions and processes. So the title of this track is another snipe at Kendrick by attempting to co-opt perhaps the most powerful part of 16 in LA, where he beautifully emotes, I know this type of power is gonna cost, but I live in circadian rhythms of a shooting star. It's beautiful. Drake also tagged this as part 2 to The Language, a track from his 2013 album Nothing Was the Same, which was an outright response to Kendrick's Control verse, which officially set rap's greatest rap beef in motion 11 years ago. Sincerely, the dichotomy between uses of the term circadian rhythm between Drake and Kendrick couldn't be more stark. Kendrick made circadian rhythm sound powerful, like something to aspire to. Drake made circadian rhythm sound pitiful, like homie needs a hug.
We don't care.
Let me tell you.
But outside the title, Drake's Circadian Rhythm doesn't feel like a full-on diss track. I mean, he raps writing their names on a list, baby, at the beginning of the second verse, then closes with how many quotes I wrote, how much gold I struck, how many funeral dates they plan for me, but I dodge it like a truck. Yeah, at the end of that same verse, which is hilarious considering he hasn't dodged this truck at all. I mean, he might as well have Armored Apocalypse imprinted on his face because this beef is sitting on his head top like a 100 gig drop from the Plot Twist account.
So that was a lie.
And outside of those two examples, the rest of the track consists of little more than disjointed, stunted growth relationship raps. I mean, he literally opens the song with, "You sent an 8-minute voice note straight from the heart?" I reply like, "Yeah, whatever, bitch, come get your stuff." I added the bitch, but that's what it feels like. And when Drake finally gets into the hook and delivers in Shakespearean fashion, rap game like my sleeping pattern, cause how the fuck am I still up? All I hear in my ear is Kendrick's line from 616 in LA when he says, "No, you can't sleep. These images trouble you."
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Perhaps that's Drake's point. Perhaps he's trying to flip Circadian Rhythm just like he attempted to flip BBL Drizzy on Sexy Red's You My Everything, but both attempts feel forced and flaccid just like SOD, another song released in this round of Drake Finsta drops. The original version kicked up conflict almost immediately. Soulja Boy was salty because Drake mentions SOD, or Stacks on Deck, which is the name of Soulja's label. Then Lil Yachty went on Andrew Schultz's podcast and said he leaked the song then called Super Soak to Kai Cenat because Mr. Hotspot wouldn't clear the sample for goodness gracious. Here's a clip.
I sent a song to Kai to leak.
Yes, I see that.
Right. We couldn't get the sample cleared. So I just let Kai play it. But this wasn't an artist. This was an Instagram social media influencer.
And they wouldn't clear a sample?
Yeah, he went down like a Christian path. If it's a good song, it's like you get to perform it, you get to...
That's good. You making the money on the road. Like,
yeah. Mr. Hotspot reached viral fame through his kind-hearted personality and endearing IG dancing videos. All things considered, he appears to be a carefree cat who stays out of drama and replies to inquiries into tawdry celebrity gossip with,
"It's none of my business. It's none of my business."
These days, Mr. Hotspot found Jesus and works with children and explains declining the sample request by saying,
I'm blessed to work with children, so we just got to make it clean for them. Like, we don't need no children getting whooped because they said this or that. You understand? And if you look at the backside, it's the children who really running these views up. So if we make sure both verses clean, everybody coming clean, everybody gonna benefit for sure. We ain't trying to hold them back from nothing, but we just need the morals correct, that's all.
But we just need to get the morals correct. This is crazy. Really think about this. Mr. Hotspot's like, yeah, but we just got to keep it clean for the kids. And then Yachty's like, nah, nigga. And then leaks it to kids' favorite streamer, Kai Cenat. Then 3 weeks later, Drake re-releases Super Soak as SOD and cleans it up by wiping Yachty off. Jesus. Now, whether that's because Yachty's version was lathered in profanity or because Yachty is a less than lackluster lyricist remains to be clarified. Regardless, from leaking it to Kai Cenat to kicking Yachty off, Drake forced SOD into the marketplace, and in the end, his version is noticeably more kid-friendly than the original Super Soak.
Jesus Christ.
The most frustrating part for Team Drizzy has to be this pattern of weird side quests that seem to emerge with new Aubrey releases. Following The Heart Part 6, a mysterious Twitter account popped up called Ebony Prince 2K24 that started dropping cryptic posts about an alleged unflattering situation involving Drake and a handicapped journalist for the Brooklyn Eagle named Christopher Alvarez one early morning at the notorious Mark Hotel in New York City. We covered this all in the Things Are Getting Weird episode of TCM News because Alvarez published an editorial in the Brooklyn Eagle that, for many following this Riddler-esque side quest, raised more questions than answers about his relationship and what happened that night at the Mark. Then, within 12 hours of Drake dropping 100 gigabytes for Yo Head Top earlier this month, a presumed acquaintance of Drake's named Exo Snow was featured in a YouTube documentary called To Catch a Kick Predator 2 for using the Kick and Monkey platforms for allegedly nefarious purposes. Drake actually appeared on the Monkey app with the Dicey Kick streamer, which set off another round of distracting side quests related to this battle, especially since Kendrick Lamar famously wore a monkey shirt in the Not Like Us video, which came out on July 4th. We covered it all in the Drake and the Weird Streamer episode of TCM News. Check it out if you missed it. 2.5 weeks after that, this week, academics finally covered Snow and Drake's eyebrow-raising appearance on her monkey stream during his show, and while live, reported that Drake told him that he doesn't know Snow and that he was told to support her by Kick because she signed to the platform. Kick is backed by gaming company Stake.com, who Drake has a partnership with. Now, keep in mind, Drake appeared on Snow's Monkey stream, and Monkey is a separate company and platform from Kick, but at least after weeks of speculation, there was finally an explanation for the association. Now, on the day Drake drops this latest 3-pack, No Face, SOD, and Circadian Rhythm, Ebony Prince shows up again and releases this cryptic post of Drake taking a picture at Popular Jewelry in New York City wearing a blue Canadian baseball jersey. In the same post is another picture of Drake walking from the Mark Hotel to his car wearing the same blue Canadian baseball jersey. Then a third image of Drake on Snow's Dicey Monkey stream wearing, you guessed it, that same blue Canadian baseball jersey. EP's post is tagged, "How many stocks do I really have in stock?" which is another quote from Not Like Us, Kendrick's global smash hit with a history lesson loaded with allegations against the Canadian pop star. At least one of the points of EP's Twitter post is to allude that Drake's eyebrow-raising appearance on Snow's Dicey Monkey app account took place in the Mark Hotel. So these two once unrelated side quests, the first with Christopher Alvarez at the Mark Hotel and the second with Kick streamer XO Snow on the Monkey app, have seemingly converged into one, feeding more fodder to Drake detractors, especially since Kendrick says, "The rabbit hole is deep, I can go further, I promise," on Not Like Us, and again, wears a monkey on his t-shirt while hot-scopping in the video during the A minor part of the song.
Stop it. Get some help.
It's starting to feel like with each new Drake release comes a new round of distractions, and I'm not sure haphazardly leaking music through his Finsta account as opposed to working a record or executing on a marketing strategy is the best way to drown out the noise. I mean, since The Heart Part 6, Drake has released or been featured on 12 tracks that have largely failed to make a mark commercially, which is the statistic that Drake and Drake fans lean on most heavily. In aggregate, it's an oddball collection of spotty one-time listens with marginal chart success that adds up to an underwhelming Drake project. Let's break it down. On You My Everything with Sexy Red, he attempts to reclaim the BBL Drizzy beat as we discussed. Wagwan Delilah with Snow Day is a meme song by a Toronto meme comedian that harkens back to Kendrick's piercing lyric, "Them little memes is losing steam, they figured you out." Ugly and Hot Uptown with Camila Cabezas were supposed to be released in the spring, but were delayed reportedly because of his battle with Kendrick Lamar. Healing and Sideways are two Drake tracks on Gordo's project and were most notable because Mustard, who produced Not Like Us, said Drake forced Gordo to drop on the same day as his Faith of a Mustard Seed project. DJ Mustard is independent and still outsold Gordo. Blue, Green, Red is a response to Kendrick's Meet the Grams. Then Drake ran to Atlanta when he needed a check balance on It's Up featuring Young Thug and 21 Savage, Housekeeping Knows, which features Lotto, and SOD, which was originally Yachty's Super Soak. Circadian Rhythm attempts to snatch the phrase from Kendrick's 616 in LA, and all I hear is Kendrick saying, "You can't sleep, these images trouble you." And then there's No Face, his most direct reference to the Shakespearean shakedown Kendrick dropped on his 100-gig head top. The point is this. All of this is unfortunate because No Face seems to be the track that's garnered the strongest reaction out of this oddball collection of tepid one-time listens. And that made a comment I saw over on BX Boxstead, my favorite forum, worth pondering. Imagine this. The date is May 5th, 2024. The world is exhausted after a whirlwind weekend where Drake dropped Family Matters, only for Kendrick to stomp out its light 20 minutes later with Meet the Grams, then a Hulkian knockout blow 12 hours after that with Not Like Us. Drake has just waved the white flag with The Heart Part 6, which, as Top 5 Troy aptly described, is the rap beef equivalent of submission. The culture takes a breath to reflect on the history we all just witnessed in real time. But in the aftermath, Drake does something unexpected and decides to take that much ballyhooed vacation he's been threatening since 2023. There's no Wagwan Delilah or You My Everything. There's no Lil Yachty drama or Little Memes losing steam or multiple trips to Atlanta when he needs a check balance. No 100 gig drops or Toronto no-fly zones. No summer vibes at all. Nothing but a drizzly-less summer. And people start to wonder. Then on August 23rd, just before the kickoff to college football season, Aubrey returns ferociously with no face, unbowed and refreshed, reminding the rap world that attempts to knock him off are futile because, fuck it, the boy is staying on. And like Manboy suggests in this post on BX, imagine instead of No Face, the song was called 837 in Houston. What would that timeline look like? How would the culture react? Would people be so excited for Drizzy's return that they forget the nuances of Kendrick Lamar's Shakespearean Shakedown, this greatest rap battle in rap history? I don't have the answer to these questions.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping in. Systematical culture views, it's radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, yes, dog, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.